Go.
Hello and welcome to Gan Ilan. We are here for a couple of gardening tips from me, Yosef Gillers of GrowTorah, at the wonderful and beautiful Gan Ilan. We've got corn, begonias, zinnias, and marigolds growing in this box right here. And come on over here with me this way. I'll show you how to plant tomatoes, basil, and marigolds in a beautiful container garden like we have here, overlooking the glorious Hudson River, where we can say truly, Marabu Ma'asecha Hashem, Kulam B'chachma Asisa. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, we've got some tomatoes here, we've got some basil, we've got some beautiful Antigua orange marigolds, but they really are yellow in honor of SAR, obviously. So this container box right here is about 18 inches of soil for our tomatoes. That is about what you want if you're doing a tomato planting. Now, those of you who might live in New York City might be thinking, how would I ever grow that? Well, you can hang one of these pots, not one of these, but you could hang a little pot on your windowsill and you could grow tomatoes. If you only have a little thing, don't worry, because you can grow flowers at even a 6-inch soil depth. Now, we're growing here, like I said, we've got marigolds here, beautiful begonias over there, some zinnias coming in over here. These flowers actually serve as a natural barrier to protect our plants from pests. Now, I don't know how many squirrels, deer, raccoons, or skunks are gonna get up on this roof, but just in case any do decide to show up, we've got them here as our protectors guarding our plants. Tomatoes and basil are excellent friends to grow together. The tomatoes and basil feed each other underneath the soil, underground. They benefit from each other's nutrients. Not only that, but the basil fends off a common pest of tomatoes. And the smell of the basil that we all love, that we can make a bracha of borei isve besamim. You know what? I'll make a bracha for you. And you can say amen if you'd like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei isve besamim. Delicious basil. It's going to be delicious with our caprese salad once all this grows in. We're not growing mozzarella cheese. Sorry. All right, so we've got our basil. We'll make sure that we space the basil about 6 to 12 inches away from the other plants. Since we're growing it in a container, it's a little more intensive and a little bit, you can plant things a little bit more closely together than you would normally in a regular, farmland. If we covered the whole roof in farm, we'd grow things a little bit more spaciously, but we're here and we can make it work. So we've got our basil, we've got our tomato, and we've got our marigolds protecting us. So first things first, let's get the marigold in the ground. Now, we know that we need only 6 inches of soil depth for the marigold, so we're good because we've got 18. Step number 1 will be to fill a container with soil. We did that already in this box. As you can see, the other boxes, we're still filling them in today with the 4th graders later on. We're not live streaming that, but if you're in 4th grade, go back to class and you'll come here later. First things, let's get our marigolds in the ground. So fill the container with soil, step 1. Step 2, you want to make for yourself a really nice hole in the ground for your plants. When you dig the hole, you can use super high-tech or super low-tech devices. I like super high-tech, ancient vintage shovels. My hands, right over here. Dig a little hole. Make sure that it's deeper than the actual plant. Also make sure that you donate to B4SAR. That's the point of today, the Pre-Shavuot appeal. Step number 3 after you dig the hole is to massage the roots of the plant. Now, these plants grow in these little plastic 3-packs, 4-packs, or 6-packs, depending on how many are in them. They grow in here for a couple of weeks at the greenhouse and the garden centers. You want to make sure that the roots are happy and will be ready to leave their current home. So massage those roots nicely and then carefully tip over the box, and pull out the plant by the stem. You can see these were very loose. That's great. The roots are pretty happy over here, so they're going to go in real nice. We'll put them in. Brace the plant as you cover it up with soil. All right. Always make sure that your sign that tells you what the steps are is also current. Okay. Pat it in nicely. You're tucking this into bed. It's not going to sleep, it's going to grow, but pretend like you're tucking your child into bed. but don't cover your children with dirt. Excellent. So this marigold looks pretty happy. If you happen to get some dust on it, you can carefully brush it off. Dust or dirt, special soil, it's all good. Brush that off. You can see here, come on in, check this out. We've got some wonderful buds growing on this marigold plant. We've got one over here, and this marigold will just continue to bloom. It's really nice that we get to grow special flowers on Shavuot, or before Shavuot, because Chazal say that Har Sinai, even though according to some they were in the desert, the entire mountain filled up with luscious, beautiful blooms like we have here. So we'll quickly do the basil and tomato. We'll grow them. So again, massage the plant, remove it carefully, get it in the ground, spacing things about 6 to 12 inches. If you are going to be putting lots of tomatoes and basil together, you can put them a little closer together. Now here's a trick for tomatoes. Come on in. When you plant the tomato plant, you want to cover the stalk a little bit and actually pick off some of these lower leaves, because this will grow new roots and it will strengthen the tomato plant. So those of you who are doing tomatoes, this is a special tomato trick. You can dig the hole a little deeper than normal and bury it in there, nice with all that delicious soil. Cover up the root and the stalk, get it well patted down, and that is a happy plant. But there's one more thing we have to do after we've covered it. We've got to water the plants. Now, you can use hoses, you can use a drip irrigation system invented in Israel. That's awesome. I recommend the best water bottle, the best watering devices in town, available at your local SAR merchandise shop. If you're gonna drink from it, make sure not to touch the lid as well. You wanna water at the base of the plant, just like that. Make sure the soil absorbs the water. If it starts to drip on, just take a pause and water again. There you go. We can go back for round 2. Water these plants. Excellent. Those will be some happy tomatoes, some happy basil, and some absolutely delicious marigolds. Now, the marigolds, you can start picking them. Once you start to see more flowers growing, you can pick them off, and you can just kind of cut them off at the stem of each of the flowers. You can put them in bouquets. If you plant today or tomorrow, you will have a couple of new blooms by Shavuot, and you can harvest them and use them at your Shavuot table along with your yummy, delicious dairy meals. If you want vegetarian cooking tips, you can just ask. Everybody have a Chag Kasher V'Sameach. Enjoy, and remember, B for SAR, B for SAR, on the wonderful rooftop, Gan Ilan.